Brendan Kirby.
Thank you. What is your vision for the first 100 days in office if elected? And please share some insight into how you make decisions.
Mr. Milstead.
Well, the first 100 days, any good manager goes in and assesses a situation before they start making radical changes, okay? To talk about going in and cleaning house and doing this and doing that is not a good management tactic. I've got to go in and assess all the programs that have been put in place since I left there as the Chief Deputy Sheriff of the county and try to determine those that are necessary, those that are providing a service that is necessary. There's been a lot of people added on to the Sheriff's office. Some of them, I don't know what they do, various clerical positions or whatnot, and that's one of the problems we've got in government today is bureaucracy, and it continues to grow in the federal and the state and certainly the local level. We've got a $20 million budget. That's a lot of money, and if the scarce resource is the deputies out there on the road, I've got to assess the situation with the Baldwin County Correction Center. I'm told that basically the training program has been abandoned somewhat there. There is a lot of problems with that jail and the management of it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dunn.
Well, I agree partly with that you can't go in there making changes right off the bat without taking the assessments. And one thing, when Sheriff Mack came in 2007, all of our leave time was canceled so that he could come around and meet with every individual of the department. Well, that never took place. And that's something I see that it has to happen, because you got so many good people there who have their own plans or ideas for the department, and if you don't listen to those people and let them have a voice in creating this office, then that's a morale killer. And unlike what I have to disagree with Sheriff Mack said earlier about the morale being all-time high. I've talked to a lot of officers inside the correction center, outside, and that's not what they're saying. And you can when you hear that much, there's got to be some truth to it. So I think I would meet with every member of the department, like we were told back in 2007, and give them a voice in this department.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Sheriff Mack.
In my first 100 days, in my first term, we did, and I will, continue to do the same thing. We entered a time in which we actually met with the existing officials of the Sheriff's Office at that time. In fact, had several conversations with then Chief Deputy Larry Milstead about the transition. We built a program whereby we set certain goals, and we accomplished every goal that we set out. We went out and came into a office that was in dire need at that time of some new leadership, of some new vitality. We did decrease the jail population. We did stand true to some of the promises we made about establishing our children's programs, about reaching out to the community, about increasing our deputy coverage, decreasing our patrol areas. So when I'm reelected as your sheriff again next Tuesday, I will continue to do those same things. Be attentive to the needs of the community, be attentive to the needs of the employees, and also be attentive to fighting crime in Baldwin County as we have done for the past 8 years.
All right. Thank you, Sheriff. Next question is from Cliff McCullum.
We touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'd like to expand. Specifically, the need for a potential jail or processing facility in South Baldwin County. There's been talk of partnering with some of the cities there, Foley, Orange Beach, and Gulf Shores. What are your opinions on this potential proposal, and would it be a help for Baldwin County?
Mr. Dunn.
Well, one thing about this county, it's so big geographically, but the population getting from point A to point B is slowing it down tremendously. And so one thing we have to do is quit trying to centralize everything. And so with the jail in the south end would help, but like I say, you have to utilize our courthouses down here to make it work. Same thing with our investigative command. Everybody reports to the Robertsdale. It's centralized. And then they've got guys that are responsible for the north end areas having to drive to Robertsdale to go back and work the north end. Just makes no sense to me. I think we need to utilize office space in the north end of the county and in the south end. We have office space at Fairhope, Foley, Robertsdale, and Bay Minette, and we need to spread out. We've got enough technology now that we can keep in touch and still have some commands, somebody under the command staff, but spread out and quit being centralized.
Okay. Sheriff Mack, what do you think about this question?
And it's a question that we're trying to answer right now. That's why we have commissioned with the cities of Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, and Foley a feasibility study, because we just don't want to jump into this program and spend a lot of money if it's not going to be efficient to the operation of the sheriff's office. We have a situation whereby deputies arrest people in the south end of the county, and we have to land those individuals at our municipal jails and then wait for transport to get them to Bay Minette so that they can book out. Now, what that does is it ties up valuable resources of our deputies. It ties up resources when we get to the jail. Sometimes there are several individuals because of that are having to be booked in. Well, the reason we're looking at this is because if we can come together in a cooperative effort rather than the sheriff building another big addition onto the jail in Bay Minette, Gulf Shores building a new jail, Orange Beach building a new jail, if we can come together and pool our resources, our finances, and our operational cost, this will be a cost-efficient solution to the south end of the county that will benefit all the entities that are involved. I believe ultimately saving money, ultimately improving the efficiency of this process, and improving our overall operation of our corrections facility.
Okay, the question to you, Mr. Milstead, as well.
Well, it's something, in my opinion, its time has come. I was in on the, I started my career in the old Baldwin County Jail, and I was in on the building of the towers that we've got now, so I understand. It is a huge investment, and it is not something that can be entered into lightly. And if there has to be a study, as Sheriff Mack has related to, and there has to be an ironclad agreement with these cities that want to participate in it. It is not something that the county can bear on its own. It has to be a collaborative effort because it is a continuing expense. It is going to have to be staffed 24/7, a medical section. You're going to have the ability to feed the inmates. That is no small thing, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to require a lot of money. Yes, it will contribute to the efficiency and the release time as far as deputies are concerned. There's a lot of things we can do online with the computers today to relay the information to the courts and to the circuit clerk, but it cannot be entered into lightly, and those that are going to be involved in it are going to have to pay their share to participate in it.
All right, thank you very much. Well, as I said, this hour was going to go by very quickly. Now it's time for the closing statements. The candidates will have time now. We'll start in the reverse order, this time with Sheriff Mack for his closing statement.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight and for your attentiveness that you've given each one of these candidates. Public service is best approached as a humble servitude with a compassionate, fair heart that strives every day to learn from those that you serve, from leading those that you work with, and submitting to the supreme power of our Creator. That's what motivates me to be your sheriff. I've been very fortunate over the past few weeks to receive the endorsements of Congressman Joe Bonner, Attorney General Luther Strange, the Chiefs of Police of Baldwin County, business organizations, the Alabama Real Estate Association, state law enforcement, as well as other individuals. But tonight, I ask for the most important endorsement of all, your vote, because that's what means the most to me. I love being your sheriff. I love serving you, and I don't take the job lightly. I want to continue to serve you, and as the election comes up next Tuesday and I'm reelected, I will serve all the citizens of Baldwin County, regardless of who you vote for. That's my pledge to you, because that's what your sheriff should do for you. That's what you should expect from your sheriff, is service, service, service to this great county that we live in. I ask you to vote for me on June the 3rd, and may God bless Baldwin County.
Mr. Milstead, your closing statement.
First of all, thank you for your attentiveness, and I appreciate every one of you taking the time to show up. Thursday evening, you could be sitting home watching TV, but obviously you've got an interest in this. I think I have stated my case as to why I would be a good sheriff, a better sheriff in Baldwin County with my credentials. And if you will honor me with your vote, it'll be my honor to serve you as your sheriff. And I would appreciate it when you go to the polls, vote for Larry Milstead June 3rd. Thank you.
And Mr. Dunn.
Well, I thank y'all too for being here, and it would be, I want to make it easy on you. I'm going to be the first one on the list on the ballot, so you don't have to even scan down. You just go ahead and fill it in. But What I'd like to do, when you elect me sheriff, is show you what a true constitutional sheriff is about, and show that we have to have someone here that can protect your rights and not take them away from you. And it's like with the TSA monitoring our emails and stuff. That's no different than what happened here in the courthouse where these microphones were placed. That was a violation of the Constitution. And for a constitutional sheriff, you can't do that. There's not two separate laws for the citizens or for the sheriff. And I want to show you the difference in that and show you what a true constitutional-minded sheriff would do. And I ask for your vote on June 3rd, and thank you.
All right, Mr. Dunn. Okay, Lenise, what kind of reaction have you gotten from social media to this?
Well, Bob, people have been sounding off on our Twitter and Facebook page. I noticed the comments were coming in more steadily as the candidates started talking about overcrowding issues and also different satellite areas being set up throughout the county. Perhaps that's something the candidates will think about going forward if there will be expansions in the other areas of the county here. I also saw a lot of questions about synthetic marijuana. A lot of people seem to be concerned about how the county is going to tackle that issue. So there are a lot of different questions and concerns out there, and people will make their decision June 3rd. Bob?
All right, thank you very much, Lenise. I want to thank our panelists here for their wonderful questions. I want to thank all the sheriff's candidates for being here. Everyone here in the audience at Homestead Village, you have been just terrific. You've been quiet. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night.